Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Follow. Once again, we have packed up our Jeep Rubicon and are headed out for some fun and adventure. The Town of Moab is our destination for this weekend, with plans to tackle several of the local trails while in the area. Upon arriving, we stopped by the KOA to meet up with Lane and Marcia. From there, we topped off with fuel and headed for the Moab Rim Trailhead, which is located just west of town off King Creek Boulevard on the south side of the Colorado River. The parking area has plenty of room to stop, air down the tires, and use the restroom before beginning the trail. Back underway, we shifted into four-wheel low and disengaged the front sway bar. We quickly reached the first major obstacle, notoriously known as the Devil's Crack. This obstacle basically serves as the gatekeeper for the rest of the trail. It's certainly not for the faint of heart either, as a simple mistake puts you in jeopardy of plunging off the side of the cliff onto the road and river below. This unfortunately has happened multiple times over the years with, as you can imagine, disastrous consequences. After successfully completing the obstacle ourselves, I did my best Trailmater impression and helped pull a side-by-side up the obstacle so their group could continue on. After the Devil's Crack, you traverse several off-camber sandstone rock ledges. These obstacles are not terribly difficult, but careful wheel placement is necessary, and a spotter is a good idea as well. At this point, the trail calms down a bit and allows the opportunity to take in all of the magnificent scenery surrounding you. The break doesn't last long, however, as before you know it, you have arrived at the second major obstacle this trail is known for, called the Z-turn.
Okay. Just like that for now. Up. Get back towards me a little bit. Okay, just hold it straight, just like that.
Utilizing a spotter here is almost a must, as there are numerous opportunities to become high-centered or double whammied, meaning both front and rear tires are trying to climb up a rock ledge at the same time. As always, Lane makes this climb look easy. Now it's our turn. Alicia drives while I spot, and Logan runs the camera.
Easy. Straight a little longer. Okay. Now. Okay.
Alicia did great as well. She has not been rock crawling all that long and has really picked it up quickly. She will tell you she just follows the instructions I give her, but she truly has a lot of natural driving ability she doesn't give herself enough credit for. The Moab Rim Trail is one of the iconic trails known in the area. Made famous by the Red Rock four-wheeler's Easter Jeep Safari, it's usually a typical destination for those wanting to test their nerve, driving skill, and vehicle. I remember traversing this trail with my father when I was just a kid, first in a 1973 Jeep CJ5, and then later in a 1979 full-size Ford Bronco. Back then, features we take for granted now, such as locking differentials, low gears, coil spring suspension with variable valve shocks, and oversized radial tires, were unheard of. It really came down to the ability of the driver. My father's Ford Bronco was considered one of the more well-equipped vehicles in our four-wheel drive club. It had a limited slip rear differential and 31-inch bias ply tires. My first time driving this trail myself was just out of high school, and I drove a 1976 Jeep CJ5 with open differentials, leaf spring suspension, and 33-inch tires. This really helped hone my driving skills. Knowing my Jeep would not go just anywhere I pointed it, I learned to read the obstacles and find a line that would allow the vehicle to successfully climb up and over it. Another valuable lesson my father taught me was to drive with 2 feet in a vehicle equipped with an automatic transmission, meaning 1 foot on the brake and 1 on the gas. This technique keeps the torque converter locked, and the resistance caused at each wheel end helps power be transferred to all four wheels, similar to having a limited slip or locking differential. As mentioned before, the Moab Rim Trail is part of the annual Moab Easter Jeep Safari, organized by the Red Rock Four-Wheelers. The ratings for the area trails originated by this local club of off-road enthusiasts. Before 2007, trails were rated in difficulty from 1 through 5. The Moab Rim Trail was rated as a 4+, making it one of the more challenging trails available. When registration opened for the 2007 Safari, the rating system was changed to 1 through 10, with the Moab Rim rated as a 7. These ratings are based on the hardest obstacle on the trail and give the driver an idea of what to expect regarding terrain and vehicle modification requirements. A trail with a rating of a 7 has the following description, and I quote, "Trail consists of rock, sand, and considerable slick rock, with many steps exceeding 48 inches. Steep inclines and declines are prevalent. Enhanced off-road equipment is required, including locking devices, front and rear, 35-inch tall tires, maximum ground clearance, and tow hooks. A winch is desirable. Excellent driving skills are required. Vehicle mechanical or body damage is likely. Rollover possibility exists." Before reaching the top of the rim, a look back in the direction from which you've come reveals the Colorado River Gorge in one of its most beautiful areas. When you do finally break out on top, you are looking straight down on the town of Moab and the Spanish Valley. In the distance, you are treated to breathtaking views of some of Arches National Park, distant features such as the Book Cliffs and the La Salle Mountains. We took this opportunity to enjoy God's beautiful creations, eat a quick lunch, and then continue our journey on up the trail.
today?
We're rocking out.
You enjoying this trail?
Mm-hmm.
Enjoying the sunshine, fresh air?
It's awesome. I just had some grapes.
The top section of the trail offers a completely different type of terrain. These fast, sandy sections always make for a great time. In short order, you are back down to a crawl and negotiating some of the steeper sandstone dome sections. This obstacle, known as Tire Test Hill, always proves to get your blood flowing. Actually though, in today's highly modified vehicles, it is conquered with ease. A sharp contrast to my very first attempt driving this on my own. Remember my Jeep CJ5 I spoke of earlier in the video? Well, the short wheelbase and open differentials made this climb a lot more interesting. Not to mention the 4-barrel carburetor did not allow the engine to run very well on steep vertical angles. At this point, we set out on foot to explore a portion of the trail which used to be open to motorized vehicles. This formerly used trail loop to the famous Egg Ranch Fin in Death Row has been closed for many years to all motorized travel, as it was included as part of the Behind the Rocks Wilderness Study Area identified by the U.S. Bureau of Land Management in the early 1990s. I was fortunate to get to drive this section prior to the closure, and it always proved to be one of the most memorable sections. Driving on a thin, narrow sandstone fin past deep holes filled with water instantly caused an adrenaline rush. I remember doing this section with the Cliffhanger 4-wheel drive club my father belonged to, and it being joked that the holes full of water were for rinsing out your underwear for those in the group who might have gotten a little too scared. Even though we were unable to drive to this spot, our hiking efforts were rewarded with spectacular views of the Colorado River below and a 360-degree panoramic view of wonder and awe. We took a short break for group pictures and a wee bit of silliness before beginning our trek back to the Jeeps. Once back in our vehicles, we finished the upper loop and rejoined the trail to head out. This being an in and out trail, you must go back down the same way you came up. The same uphill obstacles offer new challenges when being run in the opposite direction. We had an absolutely glorious day and hope you enjoyed following along. We appreciate you sharing in our adventure and, as always, thanks for watching.